Welcome to Book Talks, from books to Botox and everything in between. We hope you enjoy We're Just Girls.
The only thing that's giving me serotonin is Love Island, Season 6, USA.
So we're going to talk about bridal timelines.
Love you guys.
Welcome to Book Talks.
Hello, welcome back. Happy to have you guys back. Today is just a little duo episode.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Jenny and I are coming to you live from my house.
Her office.
My office. As if I have a job that requires me having an office, but it's okay.
Ashley told me that when her and Cody moved into this house, Ashley was like, sorry, that's going to be my office.
Yeah.
And Cody was like, for what?
And I'm like, excuse you.
You're like, for things, okay? Like
For the
important
podcast.
things. There's stuff that I need to be doing and you can't have that room.
Literally, this room, the lighting, I was like, no, this is my office.
It's so good.
Had to go buy a desk and everything. Like
I know. You literally look like you work from home. Like I walked in here and I'm like, Ashley, do you have like another job that you're not telling us about?
No, this is just where I edit the podcast.
It's so funny. Okay, so today we're going to start off talking about our favorite girl.
Our favorite
Taylor.
girl. She we might be so obsessed with her.
We're obsessed.
Might need to be concerned. Like
No,
we
it's
talk about her
sick.
every single day.
Like we need to go to a psych ward because we have
We need to go to the Tortured Poets department.
So she hasn't been in the news lately and we are just curious what her next move is.
Yeah.
I feel like she is enjoying not being in the news. Like I see all these like undercover photos of her
Right.
and Travis like hanging out with friends,
Being cute.
and I think she's loving this era of her life. Like maybe she is just toning it down a little bit.
No, I am such like an Easter egg crazy psychotic girly that I'm like, no, she's planning something. Reputation, Taylor's version is coming out. Something is happening.
Well,
Like it's just a matter of what.
She did drop that song.
The acoustic.
It was just a acoustic. There was no words. Instrumental.
Oh, really? I haven't listened to it.
It was just the instrumental of My Favorite Toys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, have you heard all
Or
the
My Boy
drama?
Breaks' Only Favorite Toys.
Have you heard the like conspiracy theories drama about her releasing all these songs?
No.
So there's these theories that because pop right now is having a huge comeback,
Yeah,
like
Sabrina
Charlie
Carpenter,
XCX,
yep.
Sabrina Carpenter, Tate McRae, like all
Yeah.
of these huge pop stars, which I'm loving.
Okay.
But it's knocking Taylor out of the #1 spot. And so anytime, hypothetically, allegedly, anytime that she gets knocked out of the top spot, she releases a song. Acoustic, Fortnite, whatever that was of My Boy, whatever you just said it was. Like anytime that Taylor comes out of the #1 spot and like it's Sabrina or it's Tate McRae or it's Charlie XCX, Taylor releases something.
What if she is going to have a pop era?
Oh my gosh, maybe. But I don't think she's releasing any new music. I think we got so much with Tortured Poets that I don't think anything new is coming. I think she just wants to be like, maybe there's a record she's trying to break, like be #1 for the longest time or something like that.
I'm just very disappointed in the My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toy instrumental. Like I wasn't like I pulled it up because I saw it on my Spotify and I was so excited. It was like a new song or I don't know, an acoustic version, something different, and it was just the instrumental. And I was like, okay,
You're like,
what am I gonna do with this?
But maybe it means something. Maybe it's an Easter egg. We don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like she loves Easter eggs.
She loves.
Like she lives for them. So.
I saw, and this is like a deep dive, like a little bit crazy. I did not fact check this, but one of her shows recently, somewhere in Europe, the piano broke. Did you see that TikTok?
I saw the one where she was getting raised up and it broke, and then the guy had to come
down.
Her.
Yeah, I saw
didn't
that
see
too.
The piano.
So this apparently has happened twice that the piano broke. So it happened a while ago before TTPD
Yeah.
was announced. The piano broke and it was only playing synth. Like when she would press the keys, it didn't sound like a piano. It sounded synth, which is very much the sound of TPTD. I can't say it. Tortured Poets.
Yeah.
So people recognize that and they're like, oh, the night before Tortured Poets was announced, there was a synth on the piano. Recently at one of her shows in Europe, the piano broke again and you could hear the snake sounds in the background. And like everyone's like, okay, Reputation's coming. Like when is it happening? Where is it? Again, this is not fact checked. I saw it on one TikTok, but I'm a believer.
It's so funny that all of her fans are like, we love Easter egg hunting.
Yes.
Like we love.
Give me a basket. I am going Easter egg
Like, are
hunting.
we Delulu?
100%.
You know?
I
Like,
saw one TikTok and I'm ready to
wonder-
like start a conspiracy about it.
I wonder if she like looks at all this and she's like, oh my God, they're so creative.
Everyone is so creative.
What if she just like sees these theories and she's like, maybe I should do that, and like goes off?
Yeah,
that.
she's like, actually, that's a great idea. I'm
You
gonna
know?
roll with it. Yeah,
But like, okay, unpopular opinion, I hate Reputation.
Yeah, it's not my album.
I don't like Reputation. That is kind of the time that I fell off Taylor Swift, and it was from Reputation until she let out Folklore and Evermore that I kind of fell off, and I came back on after she let out Folklore and Evermore.
Totally.
I don't know, something about the whole Reputation, how she, I don't know, I remember I just didn't like it. I remember she deleted like all of her photos on her Instagram. Do you remember this?
Yes.
And then she like uploaded like a snake.
Yeah.
This was like, okay, if you are
this is
28 to like 32, this is literally insane. Like this time, nothing can beat it.
Because she was off the record. Like no one heard from her, no one saw her. She was in the studio doing nothing but making music.
And like the Kim and Kanye drama, like that was just a time to be alive.
I wonder if Thank You Amy was written at that time.
Probably.
And like maybe she's just had it in the vault and then put it on.
I think probably because I do think maybe I don't think Taylor like forgives easily, but I think she does get past things and maybe like stops caring as much. Yeah. And I think she's very past the Kim Kardashian thing, so I think she pulled that from the vault.
Yeah.
But then in the song Thank You Amy, it says that I've built a legacy. So I don't know.
Oh, maybe you're right.
Because like she has built a legacy just now with Eras Tour that she didn't back then. So I think it might have been written sooner, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something there.
And like how she says like your kids are going to be coming home like singing. So she probably isn't over it. I know.
She forgives, but she does not forget.
But that Reputation era is the era that we grew up in, and it was very iconic.
Yeah.
If you are 26,
late 20s, early 30s,
you will remember that time, and it was just the time to be alive.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite album. It was. I understood why she did it. I just remember being like, Taylor, this is not your style.
It's not her style. That's when it kind of changed for me, and I think that's when people were like, oh, like the old Taylor was officially dead, and she did say that in one of her songs.
Yeah, like the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now.
Exactly. So that was when the old Taylor kind of died for me, and I love old Taylor Swift.
I love old Taylor.
So I feel like she came back to herself with Evermore and Folklore.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, which is also like a relatable story too, of like you lose yourself in a relationship or a situation or whatever it may be. You lose yourself and then you're like, oh wait.
But I think Travis has said one of his favorite songs is on Reputation. What was it? Do you know?
Oh, I know what video you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
It's on Reputation. I'm like kind of shocked.
He's like a 1989 guy. I remember him saying.
Yeah, he does like 1989, but I'm shocked that he had a song on his favorite from Reputation. But
I know.
I mean, it's a good album. I mean, all her albums are good, but it's just not my favorite.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. So I'll sit this one out when it becomes a Taylor's version. Rooting for her, but like.
Maybe we'll re-listen to it and like we'll come back and give you guys our opinions on what we feel like if we like it now.
Yeah.
You know?
We'll circle back.
Yeah. Okay.
What else are you listening to, watching? What are you doing?
So
I'm like, hey, what are you doing?
I have an obsession and I don't know how to, it's the only thing that's giving me serotonin. Like summers in Arizona, if you don't leave for summers, it's very depressing here because you can only get so much sun. You can only be outside for so long.
Yeah.
So like, what is there to do? There's no serotonin here. Like,
I talked to a patient about that yesterday. She was like, no, I always tell people like how people get depressed in the winter in New York is how people are here in the summer in Arizona because it's, you can't go outside. It's 119 degrees outside that window.
Like please send serotonin to Arizona from the months of maybe June, July, and August.
It's awful.
It's sad. So the only thing that's giving me serotonin is Love Island season 6 USA. Okay, have you been a Love Island fan?
So I watched UK Love Island during COVID.
Yeah.
Binged it. Like
Me
literally.
too. Did you watch like Molly May
9 to 9.
episode?
Yes, Molly May, obsessed with her.
Higgins
Still
and all
love her.
them.
Yes.
I love that season. So like I've always watched the UK ones. I've always heard that the USA ones are trash.
I tried to watch USA a couple seasons ago and it was awful.
Yeah,
the narrator, like everything was bad.
All of the seasons for USA have not been that great. I've watched a few and like it doesn't compare to the UK, but season 6 has really hit it off for USA.
It totally is.
Like it's insane. It's number 1 right now. It's crazy. It is so good. Like so good. I feel like they must have, I don't know. I really do think the producers go in there and do like a little plotting and I feel like they plotted so well this time.
Oh, for sure.
You've watched a few episodes, right?
I've only watched a couple, so you've got more info than me. But I will say I love that they have the narrator from UK.
Yeah,
that's
they do.
huge. Like
I
he's
know,
so
you
corny
can't take that out.
and like you have to have him. He's great.
You can't take that out.
Ariana's a great host.
Dude, she's
kind of killing it.
She looks good.
Also, bro, they must have like a certain amount of the budget allocated to hair extensions for her. She has her head must hurt at the end of the day.
Her and Maura's glam is insane.
Insane. Their dresses.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Stupid.
Every time they come out, I'm like,
No, there's some dresses that I'm like, was that made for Love Island? Because in what other context are you wearing that
Love
dress?
Island? Exactly.
Like it's like cut out gold, shimmery, and I'm like, where else? Name one other place
It's
you're
like
wearing that.
very glam and over the top.
But she looks so good.
It's insane.
And she's good at being the host. Like she's
She
killing
really
it.
is. Yeah. I think she's a good host, and I think they've gone through a few hosts.
Yeah, I think so
and
too.
I feel like they've done really well because I mean, Maura Higgins is kind of an icon for Love Island.
I love her.
And Ariana, like, you know, she was trending for a good year after Tom cheated on her, so I feel like they made a good choice.
Yeah.
But my favorite gal on Love Island is Leah. I freaking love Leah. She is a queen.
Who is she coupled up with
starting at the beginning, she coupled up with Rob. Her and Rob are toxic.
Yes.
I freaking love it. I am here for the toxicity. Like when she said, I need a guy that is going to make me feel like a little that I need to go to the psych ward. I felt that so hard. I'm like, wow.
That's like every book you read.
I think everybody loves Leah because she's relatable. So she paired up with Rob. Spoilers. Then Bombshell came in, and then Rob left her, Leah, for the Bombshell.
Perfect.
And then like they've never gone back together since then.
Wait, what does Leah look like?
She is Persian. She has the dark hair.
Yes, I know exactly who it is. Yes.
People say that this is really sad, but people always say that she has like the botched nose job.
Oh, I haven't noticed that.
No,
I'll have
she's
to go
so
look.
pretty. I think
She's gorgeous.
so pretty, yeah.
So she was with Rob, and then that Australian bombshell comes in and takes Rob, right?
No, it's the Latina Bombshell that comes in.
Oh,
yeah, this
you're
is
right.
down
You're
the
right.
road. And so she takes Rob, and her and Rob have not been together since. Leah is now with Miguel, and Rob is now on his sixth couple.
Oh my God.
6.
Isn't
yeah, with Cassie.
That's insane.
I know. And I truly, maybe I'm delusional, guys, but I think Rob and Leah are going to end up back together. And there's
That'd be epic.
I know there's a whole TikTok, like I am on the TikTok algorithm of like Rob and Leah being back together, and I think we're all delusional, but I don't know if the producers are seeing it and they're like, okay, we need to make sure they get back together.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think they've been trying to plant it, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm so sad. My prediction for it is that if this is what I would want to happen, I would want Cassie to get with Miguel, and then Rob and Leah to reconcile. And I think if Rob and Leah won Love Island season 6, it would be so epic for USA. Like it would just, I don't know. I think it would push that to the top.
Yeah.
Like it's so good.
I've only seen a few episodes. Like I said, I need to go do my homework. But what I really love that they've done with this season is one, the narrator, like I said, but they brought in Australian people, British people. Like I think that they know that the US sucked, like the seasons before sucked, but we love the lore of the international Love Island. So they like put just enough sprinkles in because they have like all of these different, from all these different countries coming in.
Yeah. I also think that it's nice because I feel like the diversity in this season is so good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's really
like,
good.
I don't know. Usually I feel like it's always like only white people or only some
you
one
have like
race.
6 blonde
There's
bombshells.
Like, yes, exactly. But they're all so different this season. I love it. Like
I do too.
Living for it. There's one couple that I absolutely hate, and
Who?
I've never hated 2 people more in my entire life. I'm like, I go on the app and vote Ashley. It's sick to get them off my screen because I am so annoyed. If I see her cry one more time, it's Kayla and Erin, the blonde.
Kayla. Oh my gosh. Yes, I can't stand her.
God. Like
cannot stand
one
her.
more.
Cannot stand her.
She's always
cannot
like,
stand her.
she says the F word so dramatically, and it sounds so. Oh my God. People have
It's
made
just,
like
like,
remixes of her voice. Like,
oh, poor girl.
She's so. I just can't. I'm like, please get her off my screen. Like, I just.
I'm sure
skip,
they will soon.
Yeah. I skip through the parts of
Who's
like
she paired
her
up with right now?
Aaron. This. We think he's gay.
Oh, cute.
I
What a plot
know.
twist.
But it's like,
could you imagine they send like a couple gay guys into the villa or like they're bi or something? That'd be so funny.
Okay, I need you to react to this, guys. So they just had, the heart rate challenge.
Oh, yeah.
So people are making fun of his heart rate challenge because it's so bad.
Oh, God.
Like, tell me you don't think this guy is gay. Hold on. He does this like body roll.
Oh.
Okay. Are you getting like,
He looks a little too comfortable in that half naked toga.
I know, like, I don't know. He's just giving that energy off, but I don't know. We'll see how it all ends.
Yeah.
People say that these couples don't even last out of the villa.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, some are from
10%.
Australia and the US. And like,
That's
how are
the
you?
statistics is 10%. I watched a TikTok where they showed like couples that have actually stayed together. There's only a handful.
That's wild.
Isn't
I
that
think the
sad?
same for like The Bachelor too. Like
You
not
know
many people stay
who
together.
got swindled out of a win?
Who?
Molly May and Tommy.
Yeah.
Because
I don't remember what
it's
happened.
so embarrassing because everyone thought they were just doing it for the clout.
Yeah.
But they're still together and they have a
No, they're
freaking
married
kid.
with a kid.
I know. I remember Molly posted something like maybe in the last few years of, so there was a guy on there that told everybody that Molly was just doing it to get followers and like it wasn't real and like that's why they
rude.
didn't win.
Yeah.
And Molly like added him or something on like, oh, like we just had a baby.
Yeah.
Like, literally, which
Could you imagine it's your pregnancy announcement? You're
I
like
know.
at the guy that like screwed you over.
You're like, we should have won. Like,
like,
what the
should've been
heck?
us, but
Yeah, that's
whatever.
crazy. But yeah, that's my steal for Love Island.
I love Love Island. I also think it's really funny. So I watched the first episode this weekend, and they, you know, like they've been there for an hour, and then they like start making out with each other.
I know.
And then they couple up and they're like, oh, why did you choose Jenny for your partner? They're like, well, I've just got really great feelings for her. And like the kiss was
It's
great. I'm like, you've known her for
crazy.
an hour. It's just the funniest dialogue because
I
they're
know.
like, she just gives off good vibes. Like I just really connected with her. I'm like, when you were making out in front of 12 other people? Like,
literally, I
so
also have
strange.
like so many questions for how Love Island set up. Like,
Yeah.
one, how much time do you get ready? You get to get ready in the morning.
Yeah.
Two, do they let them do their nails and eyelash extensions? Like, do the people come in to touch those up?
No, you do all your own glam. Everything. You pack all your own clothes.
What if you
all
need
your own
like
glam.
a mental health day? Do they allow you to just stay in your bed?
No, I read something somewhere that was like, even the days that we're not recording or filming, they're recording and filming. Like the days that they're not actually doing couplings and things like that, you're constantly on.
Also, like, do they ever eat lunch or dinner?
I know. I'm like, have you ever seen food in that villa once?
No.
I wonder if they're so
That's
skinny.
all my questions. And also, I'm like, do these girls get fake tan? Because they all look so
You're so right.
good.
I wonder.
And then also another thing is, I'm like, are any of them ever on their periods? Because they're all doing
I
cartwheels
know.
and wearing these like thonginis.
Literally.
And I'm like, what?
You're like,
You know?
how? But I think that's the lure of it all, is that it just looks perfect all the time.
It does. And
Like,
like,
those things must be happening, obviously.
no one's
but
getting fat.
no. But if I'm drinking as much as they are, they're drinking all day. Like,
I
it's the
know.
first thing they do when they get there. I would be so bloated. I would be in one-piece swimsuits. How are they, like, is it let me de-blow? The let me vitamins? Like, what are they doing just to look as good as they do?
I heard they can't drink.
Really?
Someone said that they do not drink the entire time and they only drink on those nights where they have like the parties in the villa.
Maybe.
And they're only allowed a certain amount of alcohol.
Oh, I kind of love that.
Which I kind of see that because they're all acting so normal the entire
Yeah.
time. Dude, if I was drunk out of my mind the whole time and having like ups and downs with like my mental health,
Yeah.
I would be crazy.
Oh, no, I would be like a laughing stock. You would see me all over TikTok.
They probably don't let them drink like a certain amount, I think.
Yeah.
Or like they limit it.
I love that.
Yeah. But
Health and wellness.
enough about our Love Island rant.
For
I'm
real.
so obsessed. It's so bad. I could talk hours about it. We are going to move on to our next segment, which is
Aesthetics. We're sticking to the bridal theme because
Yeah.
we're still obsessed with
Yeah.
everything wedding. Let me tell you, anyone who's been a bride knows that it's all you think about for the year that you're getting ready. And because we work in the aesthetic space, we have not only the first person, but also the like provider and customer
Yeah.
point of view of it.
Exactly.
So we're going to talk about bridal timelines.
Yeah, so I feel like it's really hard for brides to kind of create a timeline for themselves
Yeah.
when they first get engaged up till the wedding day because there's so much in the aesthetic industry that you just don't know already.
Yeah.
But even more when you are a bride because you want to do things at the right time and time everything perfectly.
Yeah.
So it leads up to the wedding very flawlessly and you also want to plan because you want to plan for anything that can go wrong too.
Yes, it's so true.
So for injectables,
The first thing that I did timeline wise was I did the Botox math.
Yeah.
So once you have your wedding date, we like to say Botox settles in about 2 weeks, but it looks best around 4 weeks. Would you
Yes.
agree?
I agree.
So you do your math. So my wedding date is September 2nd.
Yeah.
I'm going 4 weeks before that to do my Botox.
Yeah.
And then I'm going 3 months before that and 3 months before that. And you've got to make sure that you are lining up your Botox perfectly.
Exactly.
That was the first thing I did.
And I always, when I do have a bride, I write out a timeline consult paper for them so they remember.
Yeah.
But this is kind of the timeline that I stick to with like all injectable services. So 6 to 12 months out, you want to try your Botox, filler, Dysport, PRP, Sculptra, any treatments that you want to try to see if that's a treatment for you and you want to use
Yeah.
for your wedding. 4 to 6 months out is when you are going to continue the treatments that you want for your wedding.
Yep.
So say you tried everything and you didn't like Sculptra. You're not going to continue that 4 to 6 months out.
No.
You're only going to continue those treatments, the filler, Botox, Dysport, PRP, or Sculptra that you want to use for your wedding, the 4 to 6 months out. Then you hit your 3-month mark, 3 months before your wedding. That is the time for full face filler.
Yeah.
So you want, or PRP or Sculptra. So 3 months out, you want to do all of that in case there is something that goes wrong, you know. I want to like knock on wood right now.
Yeah, seriously.
But say you get an occlusion with filler. You want that 3 months to be able to recover and make sure everything goes back to baseline.
Yep.
Say you don't like your cheek filler. You want to be able to dissolve and have that time to dissolve and go back to baseline. So the 3 months out is my hard rule. Like you do not want to do anything
Nothing new.
filler wise,
Yeah.
Sculptra wise, PRP wise to your face after the 3 month mark.
Yeah.
Then you hit your 1 to 1.5 months out. So 4 to 6 weeks out is when you will refresh your Botox and Dysport.
Yeah.
So people always say, well, like, I want it to be really fresh. Like I want to do it at the 2-week mark. I don't recommend that because one, like say you need a touch up.
Yeah.
You need another 2 weeks for it to kick in. And then you're kind of, at that point, if you do need to touch up, it's just not gonna.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to.
Yeah.
Then I also think at the 2-week mark, sometimes things can look a little bit tight,
Yeah.
and people don't like that. When you're getting married, you might want like a tiny bit of expression.
Yeah.
So I think the 4 to 6 week mark is when everything settles in perfectly.
Yep.
And I think that you want to give that time before your wedding.
And you'll notice it as you, like you said, you're starting 6 to 12 months out. Do your math. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I got it on the 1st. 4 weeks later, this is what I look like. This is the perfect amount of movement. I'm happy with it.
Exactly. And like another big tip, do not go to different people
Yes.
throughout your timeline of injectable services before your wedding. You want to be with the same provider doing your Botox for at least 2 or 3 times before your final time doing your Botox before your wedding, because you want to make sure that nothing goes wrong.
Nothing. Yeah.
Like-
Because we've talked about it before. Every injector is going to do it different. It's a different
Yes.
dose per
Yeah.
person. Like that's why you want to test it. It's the same as doing a makeup trial.
Exactly. And
You do a makeup
want-
trial before your wedding.
Yeah, and you want your injector to know your anatomy, because Botox is a big thing. If you mess up, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do to fix it before your wedding.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you are trusting who you're going to.
Yep.
Like you do not want an eyelid drop or an eyebrow drop before your wedding.
Oh my gosh.
It gives me the chills, and
Scariest
that's
thing to
why
think
like
about.
I take my brides so seriously, and I write out timelines, and I'm like, because it's such a serious thing.
No,
you know?
it really is. It's
Like-
we always say it's an elective procedure, but it's still a medical procedure.
What
And
do
there's
you-
things that can go wrong if you were to switch up on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you think about like facial services? Like, what are your recommendations on like lasers, hydrofacials, all the things?
Yeah, so I like to start around the 12 to 8 months out. The more the merrier, personally, because we want to start looking at, okay, what are the issues with your skin that you're wanting to correct? Whether that's texture, acne, scarring, like whatever it may be. We've got to get a skincare plan in motion so that you can get used to it, see if there's anything that bothers your skin, if we need to take it out, put something in, whatever. We've got to have time for trial and error with skincare. I like to do a lot of lasers and resurfacing and IPL to get the most beautiful skin that we can have. Those things take time, not only to heal, but to stimulate the collagen. It's like when you guys do sculpture, it takes weeks and weeks to truly get the collagen that we're looking after. So I started about 12 months out, and most people are engaged for about a year, I would say. So I started after I got engaged, 12 months out, started doing lasers, resurfacing. I had some acne scars I wanted to get rid of just to have the most beautiful skin that I could have. I like doing that in your 12 to 6 month mark, really focusing on stimulating collagen because that's going to last you long term. After about I should circle back. Starting also at the 12 month, you've got skincare. You're starting to look at what lasers you want to do and how often you can do them leading up to your wedding, and monthly hydrofacials. That is something that I was non-negotiable doing 12 months out because as providers, our own treatments start to fall through the cracks. Like all we care about is our patients. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I haven't had a facial in 6 months.
Yeah,
I
literally.
should work
Me.
on that. Like,
I know.
yeah, literally. So I was like, I'm committing to a monthly hydrofacial. So I've been doing that for about a year now. Obsessed. It's a great service. Then going to the 6 month mark is when we start kind of doing countdown of like, okay, we have enough time to do one more microneedling, or we
Yeah.
have enough time to do one more PRP or whatever it may be. And then at that 3-month mark, that's when I'm kind of stopping any sort of anything but hydrofacial, truly. Like at 3 months, I'll do another microneedling, I'll do another laser. But that's pretty much when I stopped. I was at like 2.5 months was my last, 2.5 months before my wedding day was my last microneedling that I did, just to give myself that one last boost. And from here on out, it's hydrate like crazy, hydrofacials, drink water, stay on the skincare. I'm not introducing anything new because, like you said, heaven forbid I get cheek filler and I have an occlusion.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid I bring in a new skincare product and I have a reaction.
Yeah.
Like, I am not changing anything for the last like 2 months, truthfully.
So you would say like no Morpheus 3 months before, but you could
3 months would be like when I would stop. So if
Okay.
you wanted to do it 3 months before, sure, because you want to make sure you have enough time to heal and for that collagen to form. Your best results from a Morpheus are at least 6 weeks out from it.
Yeah, and I feel like lasers can be tricky because when you go get a laser facial, say it's like an IPL or a Morpheus, you have to do more than one treatment. So
Yes,
like
that's another
I
point.
think people don't think about that. They're like, oh, I'll just do an IPL like right before my wedding. It's like,
Yes.
no, like it's a process. Usually it takes about like 3 treatments, right, Ash?
Yep.
Like you have to wait certain weeks apart. So it's really important to like get in with your SD at that year mark before.
Yeah.
Like I feel nothing makes me more sad when I have a bride sitting in my chair and they're like, so I get married in 2 months.
Oh my
like,
gosh,
what
yeah.
can I do? And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah.
I wish you came and saw me like
2 months ago, 3 months ago.
yeah, 10 months ago.
Yeah.
Like a year. So we could do this whole plan. And like, you know, you don't want to rush these things.
Yeah, it's so
scary.
true. Because there's a lot of trial and error that comes, but you made a really good point of most lasers and aesthetic treatments, you need a couple.
Yeah.
Like, and that we could do
To
a
see
whole episode
results.
to see the results, especially the results that you want. Like, the first treatment I do of Morpheus on people, I do it to textbook settings.
Yeah.
I'm not going strong on you the first time. I'm not
Yeah.
risking anything the first time because I don't know how your skin's going to react.
Yeah.
Same thing with IPL. I'm going textbook.
Yeah.
Especially with someone who's got, if it's the middle of summer, if we've got pigment, I'm not touching you with an
Exactly.
IPL. Like, there's so many things that go into it. And if you want to stimulate collagen, you want to tighten the skin, you want to have acne scars gone, we've got to do at least 3 treatments. So that's why we've got to start 12 months out.
So brides,
I know, it's like-
please.
That's true girl math, is calculating your
know.
Botox, calculating how many weeks you need
Yeah.
in between. Like, that is the
you want to
truest girl
start
math.
at the 12 months out.
Yeah.
And people might think that's crazy, but I mean, maybe we are crazy.
Maybe we're a little crazy, but
You know?
that's okay.
Yeah, like I think it's crazy when people are like, yeah, you know, like your makeup and your hair the day of is really what makes, you know, you wedding ready for that day and like
Yeah.
all of that stuff. But it's all of the underlying things that people don't think about. Like, you know, we talked about Olivia, our last episode,
Yeah,
like the
Olivia
lash
Pope.
lift is preparing her to look like that the day
Yeah.
of, and so is all your skin treatments, your Botox, everything. Like all of that I think is more important than just the makeup and hair the day of.
Yeah, we even have makeup artists here in Scottsdale that refer to us because when they do the trials on brides, they're like, if you're going to do anything for your skin,
Yeah.
go get a facial with dermaplane before because your makeup will look better. They're like, if you're not going to do a full prep of monthly facials,
Yeah.
and it's not for everyone, totally understand.
Yeah.
But a lot of the makeup artists will say, at minimum, get a facial with dermaplane because it will just make all of your makeup look better.
Yeah, like that canvas, you know, they want a good canvas to work on.
Yeah.
So it is very important, and we're really passionate about our bridal timeline.
That's
we
for sure.
do like good discounts for brides.
Yeah, we do, which is nice.
Yeah, we have like a very cute pamphlet that you can take that has a bridal timeline on it of like when to get your treatments that you can follow. It's so fun. So
Yeah.
come visit us.
Come see us. We'd be happy to treat you.
All right.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about books.
But
First things first, what are you reading? I know
Girl.
last week we talked about you're kind of struggling to fall in love with a book.
I really am, and I'm really picky when it comes to choosing a book.
You really are.
I need it to make me feel something.
Yeah.
And I can't read a book that's not going to make me feel something. Like, I don't know. So I haven't really gone into one. I really need to search again. There was a book that was recommended to me by your girlfriend, Sarah.
Yeah.
Let me look at my Goodreads. It's a dark romance. And it's
Your
very
favorite.
culty. And I love cult vibes. Like,
She's a huge fan of cults.
oh, it's so good. I mean, it kind of like leads into our other subject that we're going to talk about today, like recommending books. But
Yeah.
what are you reading while I try to find this?
I just started, I finished the 4th book of that cowboy series, which was really good. I read it in 2 days. It was great. I'm just fully committed to the Cowboys. I'm loving it. Shout out Carly.
Yeah.
But I just started, what's it called? Ellen Hildebrandt, The 5-Star Weekend, which is
Oh.
very beach read, very girls. It's like I've only read like the first couple chapters, but it's this girl who invites 5 women from 5 different stages of her life to go on a vacation with her.
How fun.
And it's so fun. And it's like they're in Nantucket and it's like East Coast summer vibes. So I kind of
that.
feel like it's going off of what's the Carly Fortune one we just did.
Yeah. This summer will be different.
This summer will be different. It kind of like plays into that because we're going East Coast summer. So I just started that one the other day and I'm liking it so far.
I love a good summer read.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a spicy book. I'm not getting any. Well, I know I won't give any spoilers, but there's no spice. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
but it's a good girl friendship.
Very YA.
Yeah, very YA. But it's cute. I'm loving it.
You like it.
So yeah.
Okay, so the book that I was recommended is called Half Truths, and it's Secret Society, which I love Secret Society. I love boarding school. I love Secret Society. Like, it's my jam.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna dive back into dark romance.
Excited for you. I'm so excited for you.
Because like I seriously couldn't find a good book after the Ritual series, like a good dark romance book. So like I'm excited to start this. It'll be good.
Did you try the Powerless, that book Powerless or whatever series that was?
No, I really need to.
I think Carly talked about starting it. She might be reading it right now.
She said it was really, really good, honestly.
Shout out Carly. Should we leave her an Easter egg and see if she hears it?
Yeah.
Hi, Carly. We miss you so much. I hope you listen to this episode and then text us that you heard this.
She's like, I'm not listening. Carly's living her best life.
She's living her best life.
She's gonna come back and probably have read like 20 books, and she'll keep you guys up to date on every book that she's read.
Absolutely. Yeah. She's been posting reviews on her story. Go look at her Instagram. She's just the cutest.
Yeah, she's so cute.
We
she
love
does
you
post a lot of good reviews.
Yeah, she does.
I follow her
I think
Goodreads.
I think that she started that series, but I see it all the time on Book Talks.
Yeah, I need to look into that too.
And people are like addicted.
I think that's on my TBR.
Yeah.
But that kind of moves us into our subject of recommending books to family members, friends.
Yeah.
It's so hard with the books that we're reading to know who to recommend to and what to recommend to.
There's like a secret
how do you
language.
how do you kind of like navigate that?
I will say I play it safe with like strangers or patients or family, and I'm like Colleen Hoover, like, you know, and even that is like a little spicy in my opinion to get to like my family. But I'm like Ellen Hildebrandt, you love it, Carly Fortune, or even I don't know. I just play it safe. But if it's someone I know, like some of my best friends, I'll be like, no, this is the spiciest book I've ever read. Wait till you get to page 234. Like I just have no shame anymore. Like
you're like, but you know those people on TikTok that have like the color tags?
Yes, like annotate it. They're like, so this happened here and this and she's like describing it, and it's just so funny. Like so Cody literally laughs at me when I just like tell him, I'm like, so this just happened. He's like, oh my God, it's like a Tuesday at broad daylight. You're sitting at the pool and you're reading what? And I'm like,
I know,
giggling in my little chair.
Because I remember someone had said to Jake, they were like, oh my gosh, like it's so good, Jenny, that you're reading, because I feel like you're like learning so much and like you're building your knowledge. Like reading is so good. And Jake just looks at me like, not what she's reading, which you know what? You're still using your imagination. You really are.
No, it's good for your brain.
I think it's really hard to like break that surface level with like patients or strangers and like what to recommend, because I don't know, like my love language is recommending books, but I want to recommend the right books that like, you're gonna like, you know. And I feel like with dark romance, it's really, really hard. It's almost like a secret language that you're like, oh, like what do you read? And they're like, oh, you know, I like some stuff that's like a little dark, and it's like, like what kind of dark?
Like thriller is like you either go one way or the other. Someone will say like, oh, I love a thriller, and you're like, psychological or sexual?
Yeah, like you're like both.
You're like, what does thriller mean to you?
You're like, both.
You're like, so name one book that you read that you loved.
So it's so hard because like some of these books really push the boundaries, and you don't want people to, I don't know, like sometimes I'm reading this book and you're like, oh, who recommended this to me? And you like think about like, oh my gosh, this person read this book. You know?
It's actually hilarious.
Yeah, so I'm just like, it's so hard to figure out like who to recommend to what. Pretty much, or what to recommend to who.
It truly is like so weird to recommend spicy books.
Like, I know.
Okay, so I like, you're basically saying I liked this trope. It made me feel a certain way. I think you would like that is just so weird.
Oh my gosh,
and, like when you really think about it that way,
dude. Especially to family members, because like shout out my fiance's little sister. She is like my age, 25, 26, 27 maybe. And I had recommended her Fourth Wing, and I like went to Jake. I was like, oh my gosh, like, do you think that's bad that I recommended her Fourth Wing? And I like thought back to like the lightning strike scene, and I was like, oh my God, I'm like oh so nervous. I'm getting anxiety. But he's like, Jenny, she's literally like your age. Like it's fine. And even Carly was like, what, is she like 17? I'm like, no, she's 25.
You're like, but still, it's
I'm
family.
like, but still, you know,
Yeah.
like it just makes you feel like funny. You're
That's like my niece. She's in high school, but
Yeah.
she reads so quick. She reads like, I swear, a book a week at least.
Yeah.
She's amazing. But she's like reading Colleen Hoover and all these books. And I'm like, hold the phone.
I know, but
Like, are
remember,
you allowed to
like
read that?
when we were in high school, like like 50 Shades of Grey came out.
That's so true.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, there's some bad books out there, and it's crazy because like it's not like movies where you can be like, oh, these are rated R, like you
Right.
can't. So anyone can pick up these books. Really,
Yeah.
there's no age limit, which I think is kind of crazy. Like, will they eventually?
It really
put age
is wild.
limits?
Yeah. I wonder.
Because there's like rated R, there's PG-13, there's PG, and I remember when I was very little, like my parents took that very seriously. Like they're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is rated R, you can't watch this.
Yeah.
But it's like reading like doesn't really have those categories.
That's true. I wonder why.
You know?
Yeah.
Like there's no like, oh, this section of books like 18 and older. You know what I
They
mean?
kind of should, because like don't judge a book by its cover, but we judge books by their cover.
Yeah.
And if you see like a shirtless man on the cover, you're not buying it for your 13-year-old daughter. But like Colleen Hoover books, I'm looking at them right now. They have like flowers. Like that looks fine for my
And, like,
13-year-old
that-
daughter.
Okay, so there's a comment that I saw on. Have you read the After series?
Uh-uh.
So it's After by Anna Todd. I think it's Anna Todd. There's movies about it on.
Okay.
Have you seen them? It's
Maybe.
like Harden, and you haven't seen them.
No, I need to.
Shut up. Okay, so it's the After series, and I feel like it's gotten branded YA, but it is not YA. Like
Eek.
it is very spicy.
Yeah.
And there was a mom that went on Goodreads, and she was like, "This book looks so like light and like good for teenagers."
Yes.
It is not. Like there is so much explicit stuff in there.
Yeah.
And the mom did not know, and her daughter was like
gosh.
reading the whole series.
Yeah.
And it's very, very not YA.
Yeah, that's hard. But that's so true too, because like your Tessa Bailey books that
Yeah.
have like animated cutesy little
Yeah.
cheerleader on the cover and
Yeah.
then like some football player, and you're like, oh, this looks fine, YA. No.
And YA is in young adults. Like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they should do like an 18 plus type of
Yeah, I
like,
don't know why I never
warning.
thought about that. That's
because
crazy.
you know what? There is a website though for parents to go on,
Oh,
and
that's
they can
cool.
look up the books and see if it's appropriate and how appropriate it is.
Okay, that's good.
for their children.
Yeah.
But it is really funny recommending spicy reads. You're just like, you really gotta like kind of walk on eggshells.
Yeah.
You know?
When it's, but like I said, like when it's my girlfriends in our group chat, I'm like, you guys got to read this.
I know.
Like,
I know. You're like, did you get to chapter 64?
literally me recommending ACOTAR. I'm like, just wait till the second book.
but ACOTAR and Fourth Wing, unpopular opinion,
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's that spicy.
No, there's only a couple scenes.
No, it's
ACOTAR,
like,
you have to wait forever.
yeah, like there's
Like, you have
nothing
to work for
spicy
it.
about those books. Like
Yeah.
it's all plot, and I love it.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, Fourth Wing is a little spicier than ACOTAR.
Oh my God, The
but
Throne?
yeah.
Never forget.
I've seen the Chili Peppers though. Like people have rated them like 2, 3, maybe 2 stars.
Yeah.
all of them. Like
Yeah.
spicy reads, not really.
Yeah, not super spicy.
But yeah,
But I do love a spicy read.
I know. So recommend.
It's also just so funny. Like, I'll be sitting at the pool reading a spicy
Yeah.
book. I'll be in an airplane reading a spicy book, and it like feels so wrong.
I
I'm
know.
Like, is this legal? And then I see other people on their Kindles on an airplane, and I'm like, what are you reading?
I
like,
know.
I have to know.
But like that's the crazy part about books. Again, like no one knows. Whereas if you're watching, 365 days on your
Netflix,
iPad
yeah.
in the airport, like yeah, that is extremely inappropriate. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like
The
but
book makes you look like so mysterious.
it makes you look like a scholar.
Yeah. No, I'm actually so smart. This is the New York Times
You're like,
that I'm
I'm reading Hemingway.
Yeah.
So
this
leave
is
me
Stephen
alone.
King.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Like, no, one of the reasons I started reading so regularly is because my vocabulary is atrocious.
Yeah,
I have
same.
the vocabulary of like
Same.
a 5th grader
No, same.
probably.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to start reading more. What words am I picking up from Colleen
no,
Hoover?
no, I agree with you, but I will say because my vocabulary is still so bad, I'll still find words in these books, and
No,
the
it's so
Kindle
true.
option where you can click and find.
So important to me.
It's so good.
It's so important to me.
If you don't have a Kindle, why not? Like.
Yeah.
You will learn so much more. You can read so much more. It's
Yeah.
less cluster. Like I stand by it. It's
No,
great.
we ship a Kindle. Like, I
Yeah.
love my Kindle.
It's so good.
Because I will find a word every once in a while that I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, what is that? Definition. And now it's in my vocab.
It's so
Amazing.
good. It's so good.
This is going to sound really dumb, and I'm okay sounding really dumb. I'm just going to preface that. But I feel like my books, my Kindle, especially looking up the definitions of some of these words, and Taylor Swift herself are the reason that I've grown my vocabulary. Like, if you look at her lyrics, like, I am actually Googling some of these words from Tortured Poets.
Okay, when there was that lyrics, it's like he knows what is it, how to ball, and she knows
I know
Aristotle.
Aristotle.
I'm like, what is? No, I legit. I
Jenny's
will
like,
admit.
who is
I was like,
Aristotle?
no, it was. I said, who is Aristotle? Because there was like the link. You know, when you type the TikTok comments up or you pull them up, it's like
Yeah.
that first link.
Yeah.
And I had to click it because I didn't know who Aristotle was.
Oh, well, see,
I'm
that's
so
how we learn. No,
embarrassed.
that's how we learn.
And Carly said it in like one of our first podcasts. She's like, yeah, like she like broke down the lyrics. I'm like sitting there between you guys, and I'm like, I don't know who Aristotle is.
She's literally Googling. She's like, who the F is Aristotle? What is Aristotle?
So yeah, you're so right.
No, like Taylor has put some big words in there.
No, she
and
really has.
I know that sounds dumb. Roast me all you want, but like she's really spicing up my vocab, I've got to say.
It's better than nothing, honestly.
Better than nothing.
It's better than watching trash TV like we do anyways. But
I was
like
going to say, it's better than brain rotting like I do on TikTok.
Yeah, you
So,
know. So
we'll take it. Small
Scholar
wins.
Girlies.
We're scholars, what I'm
Yeah,
trying
we
to
really
say.
are. So anyways, our next episode's going to be about Hemingway. I'm kidding.
If you guys want to read this Stephen King novel with us, that'd be so great. We're going to finish it in a
Let's
week.
reread Romeo and Juliet.
Oh,
All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for you today.
That is it. We hope you're having a good summer. Join us back next week.
Yeah.
Carly will be back soon. She's living her best life.
I know.
But until then, it's Jenny and I.
Oh, I texted her this morning. I was like, I miss you so much. I feel really empty inside, and I think she's scared of me.
Jenny's like stalking her.
She's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No."
She's like, please come home.
Gonna get admitted to psych ward. All right. Well,
Anyways, moving on. All right. We love you guys. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the things. And we'll talk to you next week.
see you next week. Love
Bye.
you.